What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Chiefin With Daily Dale. I'm your host, Dale Fowler, along with my partner, Lonny. How you doing today, bro?
I'm good, good.
Sound tired, bro.
Not too
Doing good?
tired. I'm not too tired, man. I'm good. I'm good. We ain't had too many sports or nothing going on. I've been trying to get the house cleaned up. I'm having a baby. The baby's coming. Baby shower coming up. So I'm trying to just prep and getting everything done. So wrapping everything up finally. Thank God.
Man, it's coming. His baby shower is next Sunday, so I
Next
know
Sunday.
he's excited, bro. Man, so we got a decent lineup today, bro. Um, some Chiefs rumors, some things away from Chiefs related. We're definitely going to discuss Melvin Gordon, former Chiefs player's thoughts about the running back market. He doesn't like how it's going. He feels like it's the worst position in the league. Also, we're going to talk about a recently added defensive end who has been on the Chiefs' radar according to CBS Sports. So we're going to definitely dive into that. Also, we have an exclusive interview with uh former Rams defense, Hogan Rams defensive coordinator, Coach Rosie. And we're going to definitely just talk to him about how it is coaching at the high school level, the talent that he has been elevating, some guys that he has had coach went to the NFL. So we're definitely going to dive into that. So let's go ahead and kick it off with our first topic of the day. Chiefs running back, former running back, Melvin Gordon recently shared his thoughts about the free agent market for running backs. He said it's the worst position to play in the NFL. Now, when you think about it, you got guys like Dalvin Cook, who just released, Leonard Fournette, who was released earlier this offseason, also Ezekiel Elliott as well too. So, what are your thoughts about that, Lonnie, and how you feel about how this running back market has been shifted in the past couple years?
Yes. So yes, I agree with Melvin Gordon. I do agree that the position has lost its value to me. The position has been devalued, but it's no fault to the running backs that are in the market, right? It's to the
Mhm.
fault. It's to the fault of who's been winning lately, and it's really been the Chiefs. It kind of goes hand in hand with our playing style and how we win. Um, as you can see, the Chiefs have had low value guys, right? And that's not to no disrespect to Damian Williams, Darrell Williams, any of those guys, low value guys, cheap positions, cheap guys at that position on good contracts, and has been able to be successful and win Super Bowls. The first one being
Mhm.
Damian Williams. So
Yep.
that was one strike towards those running backs getting big lucrative deals, right? Then you had Clyde get drafted in the first round. That's a rookie on a very not a very lucrative deal, a very valuable contract, a good value contract. So you're getting a good bang for your buck there. So and they make it then you make it back to another Super Bowl. So that's another strike for running backs right there too, right? So then you have this year you got Isaiah Pacheco and you have another like good value contract, Jet McKinnon, right? Which is also a veteran that you have on a good deal, 1 year deal that's getting solid million, like you said, $1 million money. So like that's like the last strike for the running backs as a whole. And then just saying is you can see the success there too, is what I'm trying to say. You can correlate the success. The Chiefs have been making it to the Super Bowl with those guys on those good value contracts, rookies, whether it be rookies or vets, and kind of have made strikes against the not paying the Saquon Barkleys or paying the Ezekiel Elliott's because
Mhm.
the Chiefs shown you don't have to have those guys to be successful anymore.
Yep.
You can win with a $1 million 1 year running back that wants to just show what he has in a rookie that you found an undrafted rookie from the seventh round. If you as long as you can pick right and you have some explosiveness at that position. They've evolved that running back position. And I'm not and I hate to say it, they've made it lose its value and make that's why people view it like they do in the NFL now. You see a lot of running backs get drafted. They're giving a lot of guys their shots at that position because you it you don't have to have that top tier guy anymore. I don't have to give you top tier money to go take all of those hits and maybe not even being able to finish the season and be that 2,000 yard guy that you were before you had this money. So um, if a team doesn't have to cripple themselves, and I don't think put themselves in that position which they're seeing they don't have to do to win championships, they're not going to do it. And as you can see, that's why I said I share those same sentiments. I share those same thoughts with Melvin Gordon. It's sad to see. Um, it won't be until a team like the Chiefs gets that game changing back, and we see, okay, this guy is carrying them now, right?
Mhm.
Is really attributing to their winning. So
Yeah.
I feel like until we can see someone that is a top tier winner pay bell cow back, um, come win consecutive championships, I don't see it going back to the way it was. Hopefully, we can get some value back there just by having successful people like Isaiah Pacheco, and just different rookies just to come and flourish and able to go get money because they just were so good. They outplayed that deal. So hopefully you have that there. But yes, as of right now, I agree with Melvin Gordon. That position has lost its value. As a whole.
So so it lost its value, but only reason I'm a somewhat disagree because I feel like it's time for them to elevate in that position. I think right now the guys who are complaining are those traditional running backs who are, just every down backs who comes in and are able to just control the game by running the ball. That's not how the league is anymore. So I will go to guys like CMC, Christian McCaffrey, who has been just phenomenal ever since he came in the league. Now, he has dealt with some injuries throughout his time in the league. However, his level of play has been honestly one of the best I've seen at the running back position, along with Saquon Barkley, who's going through some contract situations with New York right now. But I think the leverage that he can have is I am also a receiving back as well too. I'm definitely effective out of the backfield. Like you can put me in a slot and I'm going to be able to get open on a DB as well too, just because I elevated the position to where it needs to be. If I'm going to have quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Herbert, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, all those new faces, Jalen Hurts, even though some of those quarterbacks that I name are considered running quarterbacks, but the league is shifting to being a passing league. It's been a passing league, honestly, ever since the arrival of Patrick Mahomes, and could be before that. When you have guys like Aaron Rodgers, who has been phenomenal in his game as well, and we know we've seen him go down in recent years, but still at the same time, he's one of the best. Tom Brady to go. Now, like I said, it's shifting. So, what are you gonna bring to that team where they need that type of running back in their system? So it's going to be tough for guys like Derrick Henry. Well, Ezekiel Elliott be fine because he's not that much of a bigger back like them individuals. They're more the guys that are in between the tackles, in between the guards, that can go up the middle and still get yards after contact, really be a bruiser on that side of the field. However, you know, kind of probably dropping your weight, working on more of your footwork, especially in out there in a slot or at the wide receiver position where you can be more accessible and be more useful for the offense. Because now, instead of you trying to go out there and get two or three good wide receivers, because we seen what the Chiefs did last year with the wide receiver court that they had, and it was one of the cheapest in the league. And Travis Kelsey was leading the way at the tight end position. So, as a running back, if you're able to do that on the outside and be able to open it up to where you're still a weapon for your quarterback, to where he has faith in you at the slot position and at the running back position when you coming out the backfield in a receiving game, that's going to give you more ball reps as well too. You're going to get the ball a lot more. Now, what did Patrick Mahomes like about Clyde Edwards-Helaire when he came into the NFL? Why was that the running back that he wanted instead of guys like DeAndre Swift and those other guys like J.K. Dobbins? J.K. Dobbins is a good receiving back as well too, but he's in a predominantly running offense, so we see him only really between the tackles and the guards. When he wanted Clyde, what something that you praised to me about the whole time when he was coming out of LSU,
He's
what
a
he was able to do?
hell of a receiver. Hell of a
Yes,
receiver. Clyde was a hell of a receiver, and it's on
yes,
its own record. He
ex-
what he did.
exactly. So he went out and got somebody that was best suitable for the offense. Now we know he dealt with some injuries. He wasn't as great throughout his time here, but he had some good years, especially when he was in the game, when he was eligible. So I don't want to take that away from him at all. But these quarterbacks want people that can do a lot more because they're shifting to more of a shotgun offense for more percentage of the game. Now we asked Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense to kind of, simmer it down a little bit. You're forcing the pass a little bit too much, kind of come from the I formation, do a lot of different sets to where you're making it easier for Patrick Mahomes where he doesn't have to throw a deep ball all the time. But at the same time, they're going to still throw the ball a lot more than what they run. So at that position, you got to shift. You got to be ready for change. That's what happens in the real world as well too. That's what happens in business. Business needs are going to oversee what the employee wants
Absolutely.
sometimes.
It's per business need.
So
Absolutely.
it's gonna, yeah. So you gotta just keep in mind of how you can elevate at your level, at your position, to push the guys to where, hey, bro, you still need to give me about 15 plus a year because I am valuable to this offense.
So you don't share those same thoughts, is what you're saying. You just think
I
that they
don't.
need to, the running back needs to put more value to themselves by adding something else to their
Yes.
arsenal other than just that jump cut.
Yes, we don't expect the quarterback to be the same every year. We expect him to elevate at a level every year, right?
Yeah.
And we know that you are elevating on the run game, right? But you
Yep.
guys are, a lot of times, if you are elite back, you can't average 3 to 5 yards a carry. If you, with your potential, with your elusiveness, with your burst out the backfield, you're going to get those yardage. Now you can do that, and the defense or shit they shifted to stop that type of running back. Right? We saw Derrick Henry had those elite years before he had a 2,000 yard season, and then after that you saw that decrease because they like we're going to put more guys in the box. We're gonna stop the run. We're going to make sure that's the purpose in this game is to stop the run. We're not going to let you do anything. We're going to force your quarterback to play. Now, when you're able to elevate and be like, oh, okay, they're putting him out the backfield a lot more now. Our defense wasn't prepared for this. We don't know what he's going to do or what we're expecting him to do out at that slide position. It opens up a lot for you. So they just got to keep that in mind. You just need to elevate. Now, I feel you. I feel where you're coming from. It feels like it's the worst position to play in the NFL. We saw that with Le'Veon Bell. He ended up getting that contract, but we saw the decline after that as well too. We saw that holdout. So these guys are not trying to hold out like that situation because they don't want their plays to decline, and then it gives the ownership and the organization more leverage to why we should not pay you as much.
Exactly.
So we're gonna see this actually throughout. Probably, I feel like we're gonna see this throughout some time until they're able to figure it out. They might have to start somewhat of a union themselves to like really
Something,
be able
because
to
I think that also plays a factor. Like we said, the biggest thing, we need to get a banner to run this while we talk. Best ability in the NFL is availability, and the
availability.
thing with running backs is you get hit so much, constantly getting hit every single
You're done
play
by 30.
that you can't even sustain. So it's like it it's caught up with them. They
Yep.
paid those guys, and every single one of those guys that they paid has dealt with the injury somewhere, somehow, that has
Yep.
kept them out for a period of time to where they were not able to produce like they were that following year. So I feel
Yep.
like that's going to just, unless they can have somebody that's just like that anomaly guy that can just stay healthy, at least two or three of them for
Yeah.
a couple times after they get paid and keep having success. This ain't gonna last long. It ain't. You can't. We're gonna be in this. We're gonna be here for a minute,
At this
but
point, you only
that's just
guarantee
me.
one good try at the running back position. You only guarantee you one good contract because once you hit over 27, they're going to be questioning your health, how much your body can take. Are you going to be able? Are you going to be able to actually meet the standards of the contract, making it to 4 years? I don't want to have you only for one good year and then you hurt out of the rest of the years, the 3 other years. So that's something they're gonna have to think about. I feel like they're gonna actually have to get in a meeting room themselves and discuss where they feel like the position needs to go, and then they can start helping creating that change to future running backs to come, because sometimes you're hit in the middle of things when stuff is going down, and it's unfortunate for those individuals. Now, at least you're able to play the game you love and do this every Sunday and still make a good enough money. But now it's time to come in as a collective and think about your future at that running back position and see where it can go. But we're definitely going to talk about this a lot more. We're going to hear more comments about this. We might get another guy who actually feel the same things and actually share the same sentiments as Melvin Gordon, and we can get another perspective and see how that goes. But this definitely something to be following along with, because we have a lot of great running backs out there right now that still have not signed. So going into the season, knowing that, hey, we might lose a running back we have, but we can still go get a guy that has played at an elite level, who has been a part of championship teams, who has experience. So now we can go pick him up if something happens. It's crazy. It's shifted like that. So we'll see how that go. But now, Lonnie, let's go ahead and jump into our next topic. CBS Sports recently put out their top landing spots for available edge rushers. Jason Pierre-Paul actually has been linked to the Kansas City Chiefs. He actually played with the Ravens last season. He had a total of 21 pressures and 3 sacks total. We know he's not playing at that elite level, but he's somewhat of a third or fourth option you can have on your defensive line to come in and actually give a break to the starting guys that you have going out there who is playing well. Now, what are your thoughts about that, Lonnie? Because we talked about trading for a guy like Danielle Hunter, but now you have a veteran in Jason Pierre-Paul who was a part of that Super Bowl where they dominated us in that Tampa Bay game, and it was a blowout on the Kansas City Chiefs. So, how do you feel about that? What do you feel about him coming in?
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, JPP might have played with Spags in New York too, right?
Yes, got a Super Bowl with him.
So I definitely could see JPP coming in and being solid, being that vet. We always talked about we had a vet along for the ride. If y'all been paying attention to the last couple of Chiefs runs, Melvin Ingram, Terrell. It started off with T Sizzle. Then we had Carlos Dunlap. So we've always had a vet in that room to kind of bring that extra oomph and that extra presence that you need, or that extra get off on third down when you really need some dogs out there getting after it. And it's no offense to with the young people that we have in the room, but we always try and get an extra lead in there for our young ones. So like I feel like JPP will be good for that. I feel like it brings another Super Bowl ring into that room. Anytime you can get some Super Bowl experience in your room with young people that you have, or the BJ Thompsons, the Felixes, you want to do that, right? You want to show them, okay, this is a guy that has won a Super Bowl, and it's not necessarily a Chief, but has won a Super Bowl again. Actually playing against the Chiefs actually showed you how to beat one of the best quarterbacks in the world. He gives you a couple of different keys and a couple of different looks as to how he may rush the passer, just different things like that. It's always good to just have those type of guys, I think, around your young people, especially when you're bringing them up. Now, like I was gonna say like George, but we haven't really seen the payoff for George yet. But we kind of seen it in last year. He still was he played good. He went into the playoffs. He was able to get a sack. So it's like he did elevate his game. So like I want to see if he can take off more. But yeah, I feel like it's always good to have at least one vet around. Just to show them, like, hey, man, when it's time to get after it, this is how you get after it in the NFL, right? This is how we do it. This may how you did it in college, but this is how a 14-year vet, 13-year, this is how long I've been doing it, and this is why I'm successful at it. This is how I won the championship. So, like, this is how you show. I'm gonna show you. Let me show you longevity my way in the league. So I feel like that's always good to have somebody else like that around.
It makes perfect sense for the Chiefs when you think about it. I'm gonna make it short and sweet. I mean, this is the build that he was at when he was in New York, and that's something that Spags like in his defensive ends. And then, like you said, we already said it before, having T Suggs, having Carlos Dunlap, having Melvin Ingram, them guys coming in. We want someone who has been there before, who knows his position well, because we're trying to build up the talent that we have already. So I mean, yeah, 21 pressures last season and 3 sacks, but at the same time, that's still something. Carlos Dunlap had, I believe, 4.5 sacks, so that's only 1 sack below him. However, you still have that length, you still have that athleticism in a sense, and someone who can still bring it and who's looking to actually add to his, accolades as well too before he call it a quits. I mean, he been in the league for a long time. He had solid seasons with New York. He had about 4 seasons, it looked like, with Tampa Bay, and had a season with Baltimore. So you see that he's throwing a shift into that guy who's becoming a journeyman, who's who's going to be able to come into a system and just assist and come into a place where they're already built, because he's not going to go somewhere that's on a rebuild, right? He's going to go somewhere that has everything in order already. They have everything in place. All he has to do is come in and bring in what he can bring, and we'll be able to offer him that minimum vet deal to where it's not going to affect the cap as much. And then also we get someone who's looking to add, who's looking to add to it. Yeah, we know he beat us in the we know he beat us in the Super Bowl that year. That's fine. That's okay. It's perfectly fine. However, he's looking to add to his accolades, and he's looking to get more rings as well too. He had one with New York. He had one with Tampa. If he can get three, he can solidify himself as a Hall of Famer as well too, because he has the stats to enter. He has sacks. He had multiple seasons with 10+ sacks. His highest sack year was in 2011 with 16.5, and that's the year they won a Super Bowl. So, I mean, we're not looking for him to come in and be a 10 sack plus guy if we were to get someone like that, but we're going to be expecting that from guys like Chris Jones, George K, Felix, and then him coming in just able to add to that sack total as well too. So, just something to think about. It's out there. CBS Sports provided that. I think that's something we can see probably late August, when the season is about to start. Once preseason come, if he's not off the market yet, that can be like, okay, I think we need a little bit more beef up front to help with what we're trying to do. So we're gonna see how that goes. But we're gonna go ahead and send this to the commercial. Once we come back, we got our interview with Coach Rosie right here on Chiefin with Daily Dale.
What up, KC? On the heels of yet another Kansas City Super Bowl victory, we have an awesome opportunity for you to broadcast your business to the local Kansas City market. We've created something called Kansas City Sports Company, which is a sports media hub for multiple live shows, all of which cover all the local Kansas City teams. Now, we have 30-second ad spots, 60-second ad spots, we have event sponsorships, studio sponsorships, show sponsorships, and much, much more. This is a great opportunity for you to start early with us and broadcast your business to a very dedicated, very enthusiastic Kansas City audience. Contact me or hit the Contact Us link on our website to learn more about this opportunity.
All right, welcome back to the episode. Now we got an exclusive interview. You know, he was my high school coach. He's a state champion as well too. We never got to get that. It's cool. It's fine. It's fine. But he's a state champion though. One of the best defensive coordinators I know. I ain't gonna lie. He came in, ran his defense how he wanted, and they was fire. Coach Rosie is in the building. What's up with it, Coach? How you feeling?
Nothing much, man. Like, thank you for having me on, man. It's an honor for sure.
Oh, definitely, man. Like, it's just something that we're trying to do, especially with this being like a Kansas City based podcast. Definitely dealing with more Chiefs content. However, we always looking to put more people on and give you guys a platform as well too, because we want you guys to be able to put your put all your accolades and everything out there. We want to be able to build up the youth in Kansas City, and we know you heavily involved in that. So my first question honestly is like, what made you passionate about coaching football?
So it's funny because initially when I went to school, I went into athletic training, and I thought like that's what I wanted to do. I was real passionate about athletic injuries and being able to help an athlete get back on the field. And once I started school, like once my like playing days was over, I played for a second in college, and then that was over for
Mhm.
me. And then I started coming back and to Hogan, and just really just like volunteering volunteering my time, and not really still thinking that I really wanted to coach. Just like, hey, this is something fun I can do when I come back home, and and that kind of thing. And it kind of just fell into place where it was like, okay, I think I want to do this.
Yeah.
Which ended up I changed my major to physical education, and so I could actually be involved full time.
Hmm.
As a coach, is just, especially high school coach, it's important to be around your kids as much as you can. So
Facts.
really being in the building, and then, like, once I saw the type of impact that I could have on kids of Hogan and things like that, it was like, this is a very important piece, especially me coming back to where I came from.
Hmm.
Just seeing the holes that was missing and the things that needed to be, made important. Um, I was happy that I could come back and make those changes and help the high school experience for the kids that came after me. So that was
And
important.
That's what's up because I mean you came in on fire and you was young as well too. Like to be able to connect with us and we were
Sure,
having that bond as well too. It
sure.
was just phenomenal to have that experience because you related to the student that we were at the time.
Yeah,
You understand like where a lot of us came from, where we was built from, and and that escape for some of the guys who played for with us was was football.
yeah.
And then also you took the route of doing track and field as well too. So how was that? Because I seen you have a lot of people go to state, compete, really go take the next step to college as well too. So how was doing that as well? Along with football, was that somewhat of a challenge stepping into that role, being a track and field coach?
So I'll say, track, initially, I would just because in high school I threw shot put and discus. Wasn't the best, but I really learned a lot. My coach, my mentor, PJ really did a lot
Okay.
in just instilling those track coaching techniques in me
Mm-hmm.
to where it just really just came natural. And just after a while, I started to actually get a passion for track because it's different from football, where football's it can get real serious and lots of time watching film and a lot of time where you're kind of stressed almost. Track was way more laid back and just um, giving kids workouts necessary and our situation was always different because we didn't have a track, right? So it was up to the coaches to have to figure that out. Have to be able to make drills and things
Mm-hmm.
relevant, even though we don't have those surfaces, we don't have jump hits, we don't have those things
Nope.
to really practice it on, but that never stopped us from having success. So,
Mm-hmm.
and to me, because I also came up with those same conditions, it was never a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then 2022 season, which was probably like one of my best groups I had. We won the state championship in the 4x4, as well
Hey,
as I had an individual kid who won the 400. He's actually in New Mexico at New Mexico Junior College right now. I mean, tearing it up too. So it's
hey.
been a great thing, and just knowing that a kid like that came from a program who didn't have anything, but he's still able to go off to school. And this past year was his freshman year, and he was a two-time All-American, and they also won the national championship as well. So it was a great season for him. So.
That man, that's phenomenal. And Lonnie, if he's not telling you a lie right now, when I say we didn't have the resources, bro, like they was because I did wrestling like my freshman year and stuff like that too, and we was like doing it in the gym on the max. The track team and the field team, bro, they was going up and down the drive through, running around the block. They the field, the football field is the only like sports thing that we have outside like the field, and we
Right.
had the gym. We couldn't have games there, so like we really had to utilize the environment to like become good at what we were doing at that
Sure.
time. So that was, I know that's challenging for a coach.
Yeah.
So Lonnie, you got anything you want to ask before we move on?
Yeah, so I grew up as an inner city kid too. Myself, Coach Rosie. I went to Southeast Ace at the time. Y'all gave us a good thrashing a couple times. I know y'all. I know the school. I know Hogan is a school at the top of the hill. We not too far. We probably about a stone's throw away from Hogan.
For
Um,
sure.
I know that y'all you didn't, like you said, the resources were limited. But however, you guys were able to make not like very, very great, good players, great men, even NFL ready talent on the field. Are you seen that on the field at times? I just want to know, as a coach, when you seen those guys, what kind of separated those guys, gave them that umph that they kind of like, okay, this guy has it, that's gonna put him over the hump. Even though we are limited resources here, we don't have a lot here, and we're making the best of what we have. What kind of showed you, oh, these guys got it?
So I mean, I'll be honest, like as a coach, you don't know that kid's gonna develop into a William Bradley King who's 6'4",
Yeah.
240, running around being crazy. Like, because when Will came in, he was
Damn.
tall. He was six, probably about 6 foot 6'1", but about a buck 70. I mean, kind of like a skinnier kid, you know. But he had, what I will say is like the kids who did go on and take this game further. When you look back, their mindsets were different. Um, Funny story about Will is, and me and him laugh about this all the time, is that when Will was a freshman, he maxed out on squat at about 405, which is really good. Like, okay, hey, you in here like working hard. But in his mind, he's like, I'm a freshman. I did 405. By the time I'm a senior, I'm gonna do 1,000 pounds. Like he literally was like, I'm gonna do 1,000 pounds on squat. So
Nah, for
me,
real.
I'm like, okay, listen, like you doing good, but you will not squat 1,000 pounds. Because me, I'm always real. Like I'm not gonna be the one to be like, oh yeah, you can do whatever. I'm not that guy. I'm the guy that's gonna be like, listen, here's the realistic goals that will be pretty good. He's
Uh-huh.
in, and the crazy thing was in that moment, got mad at me, like, you don't believe in me, blah, blah, blah. And then like now he's like, yeah, I was just a dumb freshman. I didn't know what I was talking about, right? But it's like those conversations is the things that like really spark is like this kid believes he can do so much because of his push that he already has at 14 years old. So what can we achieve? You know, so those like different qualities in those kids. I mean, had another kid, Anthony Sherrills, who like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
went on to play, you know, big time ball at the University of Missouri, and then, you know, had a couple you know, cups of coffee in the NFL as well. I mean, he was another kid that just, as a freshman, he's running around, and I had to like slow him down. Like, okay, listen, everybody else not there yet. Let's take it a pace back. And he's a kid who, if also at 14, was like, I'm going to the league. But you hear that so much that you're like, okay, we just gonna pump our brakes a little bit. But like he really had it to really get it done, you know. So
Yeah,
that's what it
yeah,
was. So, but
yeah.
Nah, and Hogan, they'll tell you if you're not going to the league or not. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I came in freshman year. I'm gonna be honest, like Coach Burgett and even Rosie as well too. Was like, hey, bro, you like a 5'4" lineman.
yeah,
But like I knew as well too. That's why I always been playing. So I'll be talking to him about what schools to go to, UCM.
Sure.
That I went to UCM because of Rose. He told me like they got that there. Go to live at South Yater. You know all that. You
for
know,
sure. Yeah,
and that's what you respect about it because now we can prepare for things we can do outside of that sports, but you can do it for fun in school. You can
yeah,
still be a part of a legacy where you can go out and still go try to win a state championship.
yeah,
So that feeling of being a part of that, I will say y'all definitely created a culture that can be built upon and can go for years on. Now we know that you just recently had your last year at Hogan Prep. Great time. I know you love your time there with Coastal Scola.
right, for sure.
Always was made, was part of a winning culture. Now transferring, going over to Park Hill South. What are your goals and what they're going to have? What are their plans for you? Stepping into that coaching staff.
So you know, Park Hill South, you know, it's actually like a whole new brand new staff.
Hmm.
Um, One of my buddies who I played college ball with at Ottawa University, Justin Ponce, he got that head job, and then like when I saw it, I just hit him up like, hey, you know, that's big, you know, congratulations, that kind of thing. And I kind of like halfway joking, like, hey, you got a job for me, you know, and it not really thinking like he was gonna be like, well, yeah, I do. Like, hey, the principal's gonna call you tomorrow. I'm like, okay, well, let's go ahead and see what this is, you know, because like over the last probably 3 years, I have been kind of looking and applying for head jobs and different things like that. And I felt like I was getting closer on a head job. But just me personally, like nobody told me this or anything, but it was just like, I feel like going on and adding some other experiences to my resume can like only help me, be able to
Yeah.
showcase myself a little bit more. Had a great time at Hogan, and not to say that one day God may not put me back there, but I just really just I always battle with, if I wanted to be a Hogan lifer, like like Coach Lascola's been there. This is coming on his 30th season.
Hmm.
He's a Hogan lifer, and I always battle with, do I want that to be my journey as well? Um, so I feel like going off, being able to add some more tools to my toolbox, so that when I do get that head coaching opportunity, now I have a urban experience, suburban experience. I have different things to add to make kids great. So as far as my job over at Parkville South, I will be teaching PE. Uh, the same thing that I did over at Hogan for the last 10 years, and then football wise, I will be coaching the defensive line, as
Okay.
well as working into like the head of football operations type as well, to where I'm working closely with the booster club and working closely
Hey.
with parents, and really just on the operation side as well, which I think will help me prepare myself as working with those different types of groups that honestly we just never had at Hogan, or we never had a
Absolutely.
booster club, right? So
Yeah.
That's
just like
true.
just like preparing me, so that there's like, if my next job has one, then I'm ready for that. Then I'm
Exactly.
ready to navigate those different circles there's that could be at my future job. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to build towards that, right? I mean, you got to be prepared for the next opportunity. So, do you plan on like eventually ever becoming a head coach at a high school, and do you plan on like moving on into an upper level of doing like college as well? Because I know the type of coach you are, I feel that you're great at building up the young guys, but I see so much potential of someone who could be on the sideline at a higher level as well, too, being a college coach or eventually being on the staff of an NFL team as well. Just because, like Mike Thomas said in a recent interview himself, like he was on that podcast
The
with
pivot.
Flying Clark, the pivot.
Oh yeah.
He was talking
For sure.
about he's talking about, really we couldn't play we couldn't play we didn't have the athletic ability
For
at
sure.
playing at that level. They couldn't take it to the top, so they became great coaches. So
Yeah.
what is your plan for that?
You know, um, I love coaching high school ball. I feel like the impact is bigger,
Hmm.
um, and just the gratification that you get when you see this 14-year-old kid grow into this, 18-year-old young man who who maybe even that kid has become something that like they never saw in themselves. Because the truth is, like, very very small percentage of kids are going to play at the Division 1 level at that, and even smaller will play at the professional level.
Hmm.
Like, it was like, and I've always prided myself on, I don't need a 5-star prospect. You know, if one like fell in my lap, that's awesome. But I've been able to develop young men and women
Hmm.
um, into those type of athletes. Um, so it's like, if a college job came knocking, I'm definitely considering it. I'm not gonna say no. I'm 100% high school my entire life. I don't know what God has for me. Um, so, but I will say I know the higher up you go, the less time you have for your family. So I would say, at the high school level, it's already, sometimes where I'm like, we may have something late at night where I don't get to put my daughter to bed, and then I may have to be up early in the morning where I don't even see her for a whole day. So it's
Hmm.
like as you go up, that becomes, maybe a week. Like even just this past week, on the pivot, they had Coach Marcus Freeman, who's the head coach at Notre
Yes.
Dame on there, and
Mhm.
like
Hmm.
he mentioned how he navigated that was that he always would invite his family to come to practice, come to meetings, just so because like he knew that like if he didn't do that, it may be 3 or 4 days and he never saw his kids. He'll see his
Yeah.
wife, but he wouldn't see his kids. So like he like had
Yeah.
to be intentional about, hey, this is how I'm going to make this work with my family, because first of all, I'm going to be a dad and a husband before I'm a coach. So
Hmm.
and I feel like high school is a little bit easier to navigate that, especially when you're the head coach, because you can make the schedule, so
Yeah.
with that kind of thing. So
Now we definitely see that because really sometimes you think because you're on a lower level that you don't deal with those same
right,
problems that those higher level people might deal with as well too. So I definitely can understand that because as you move up, you're gonna have to dedicate more time into building these guys into
for
NFL
sure.
ready players, right?
Yeah,
And then if you're at the NFL level, you're gonna have to be prepared to lead these guys and hopefully
yeah,
eventually become Super Bowl champions at the end of that season.
definitely.
So all right, let's put some more fun into this,
All right,
man.
let's do
Let's
it.
put some more fun. Let's put some more fun into this. So, was I the best center you ever had?
Here we go.
So listen. Here's what I'm gonna say. My first answer to that question is I coach defense, so I think it's coordinator. That's my first question. My first answer to that. But no, but like I will say this, and like this is the honest truth here. Me and coaches had numerous conversations about the fact of like, certain kids who you're like, man, like I wish that kid had the tangibles because he has everything else. And just being honest, like Dale was like one of those guys that you're like, I want Dale to be so good because he's here, he works out, he busts his ass every day, and it's like those are the pieces of like, not everybody are given those like natural traits. Like me, I'm 5'7". I play
Hmm.
line, and I knew like, hey,
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to play this as long as I can, but I knew I wasn't an NFL guy,
Yeah.
Um,
yeah.
so just like as far as top centers, I mean, since I've been coaching, I would put you up there, like in the top three at least. I
Yeah,
would,
like I don't be trying to be that guy because I already know because I
no,
definitely feel what you're saying because for real you can't be a 5'4" center only benching like 240 and about to go up to play like these dudes who 300
yeah,
pounds.
for
Like
sure,
it's cool at the high school level, but when you
yeah.
get to that position, it is hard. I just wanted to make a joke about that because people always
No,
trying to say you play. It's like
for sure,
bro, yeah, I sure didn't start until my senior year, but I mean sometimes you got that barrier with like
you
the
know what I'm
older
saying?
people who's up who's still good.
Yeah,
So they're in there as well too. So I mean, and then
but
you
that
had
was your,
guys who, yeah.
yeah, but it was like we never had to worry about you know is Dale gonna miss practice?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be a time where the game's starting and we don't know where Dale is? Like,
Yeah.
no, like, and those were pieces that would put you over maybe some guys who are like a little more talented, but like,
Hmm.
were they guys who were like, okay, well, we have to worry about, is he gonna be academically eligible? Is he going to get
Yeah.
into it with a teacher before the game starts? Like we never had to worry about that with you.
Facts.
And
Yeah.
so with that, it was like at least we know he's going to work his hardest and he's going to be reliable every day. And
Okay.
that's huge.
I appreciate
And
that.
that line when you as a senior was one of the best lines I've seen at Hogan. I mean, just
I
be
told you,
honest,
man.
like it's what
I
it
told you.
is.
Yeah.
They was beastie, bro. Like,
Yes.
forget me, Roy Sherm,
Right.
Will at
There's some
guard,
dudes.
Montel, Terrence. They
Terrence, we
was
had
huge.
some guys
They
for
was
sure.
built like that. So I definitely they hid my shortness and stuff like that. I will say, like for real, it was a blessing. Lonnie, what you got, bro? Like, I mean, you know,
Nothing, man. The resume speaks for itself. Like I said, I got to watch it firsthand. So I watched the games. I was a part of some of them beatings. So I mean, it's really not too much to say. When you sit and you're able to watch the talent, it's really not too much to say. I will say this though to Coach Rosie, thank you, because it's not a lot of people that come and give their time back to the inner city kids, right? And I feel like that's a message that's forgotten with a lot of this stuff, right? The dedication to the and it's no offense to the people that look like us. It's just it's coming and showing that you're willing to put in and change those lives of those young men, bro. That's big, especially coming from a man
it
like
starts
us.
with y'all.
It started because that's where it starts at. And just putting it out there. Like I tell Dale now, Dale's coaching his son. He coaching him in T-ball and stuff.
Yeah.
We gotta you gotta do that, and you gotta give that time back. I feel like, especially to us, man, because we are usually the ones with absent fathers. I'm one that don't have a father in his life, so I'm the ones that needed coaches like Coach Rosie to come and probably pick me up for practice. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like, you need those type of people to stir the drink. So that's really all I had, is just really want to say thank you for that dedication to coaching. And really just showing the way and paving the way for these guys.
For sure. No, yeah, I appreciate that. And because I've always said, the only difference in Hogan and Ace was that we had a tradition set of what hard work looks like, so kids can live up to that next class. I mean, when
Mm-hmm.
when Dale comes in as a freshman, and he sees a Devontae Bosby who has
Mm-hmm.
gone off and done some great things. He's seen these different examples of okay, this can happen here if as long as I work hard, and and I'll say too, it's a lot of time from coaches. I mean, and I learned that from Coach Lascola. We're out there, painting our own fild for
Facts.
practicing games. I mean,
Facts.
like that's extra. I mean, we're probably one of the last staffs who go off and drive and go scout teams in person. I mean, we'll take drives to St. Louis to go watch a half of football in person, just because it's well, I think I can get a better view of them in person than just on Huddle. And just that extra piece, I mean, is because I'll say coaches nowadays, a lot of coaches just want to get in the coaches just to call plays.
Yep.
And if that's your mission, go play Madden, bro, because that's not what it is. Our job
For
is
real.
way more extensive than just being on the sideline calling plays. Like that's probably the most fun of it, but we only play 10 guaranteed games, and if you're
Mm-hmm.
fortunate, you may play 11, 12 games, and calling plays versus this whole thing starts for us 3 weeks after our last game. Like, we are hitting the weight room
Mm-hmm.
and getting it going for the whole year, and the coaches don't get paid for that piece. Our first check don't come until September.
Okay.
So it's
Crazy.
Yeah.
you're going, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August before we see any ounce of money. So it's
Yeah.
if you're getting into it because you think you're gonna be rich off of it, in high school coaching, we
Yeah.
don't get paid that much. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
So it's more of a passion and more of, let me see how I can elevate these guys up. And like how we said earlier, not all of them will play football at the next level, but if they can take one thing of what I've said to them and help them be a good father, help them be a good husband, help them go do something great,
Yes, sir.
then like though it won't help me buy a new house, it will help me feel good.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Facts. No,
Absolutely.
I feel that. I feel that. And it's all love here. I mean, I experienced my time with you during high school and then beyond that as well. And you did some great things. So, it's always love. We wish you luck at the next level, at your next position with Park Hill. And before we head off, I mean, this is still a Chiefs talk show. So what's your prediction for the year for the Chiefs?
Oh man, we gonna win it all
Of
again.
course, of
Of
course,
course, we're gonna win it
of
all
course,
again. I
of course.
mean, it's just, Andy Reid is the best coach who's ever done it. I mean, let's just be real. I mean, he's from the time that he started coaching, he's always been a winner, and he's going to breed winning.
Mhm.
Um, then when you have guys like Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey and these guys who are just at the top of their positions in the
Mhm.
league, and we're really developing a good offensive line around that as well. Our like defense is getting better every single game and every week. I mean, just the Chiefs are a problem. The Chiefs are a
Yeah.
problem, and there's a lot of fans out there who are from Kansas City who were disappointed when we were all younger, who really want to be Chiefs fans again. But they like, man,
Yeah.
I've talked so bad about the Chiefs for years. I can't do it. And I'm gonna just make a public service announcement right here. It's okay. Come on
It's
back
okay.
home.
This is your
The Chiefs
home.
are here. This is your home.
This is your home.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
that's
Like,
facts.
not everybody can say like their hometown team is winning, like how the Chiefs are right now. So why miss on that because because you're
Enjoy.
still distraught for some childhood trauma when the Chiefs lost to the Colts back in the day. Like, like let that go. Let that go. Come on home.
Man, facts. Hey, he said it right there best. If you don't feel bad. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Be a part of them parades, be a part of the
For
environment,
sure.
be a part of a winning environment. So that's all
Definitely.
good. But yeah, once again, we appreciate your time. We definitely will
Thank you,
enjoy having
Coach.
you back whenever you can. We know you got to get ready. So this all we have for this episode of Chiefin with Daily Dale. Remember to follow us on all our socials at KC Sports Company on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Make sure to follow me on all of my platforms as well too. Facebook Dale Fowler Jr., Twitter Dale E Fowler, Instagram Daily underscore Dale 39, Lonny Instagram underscore Lano LONO underscore, Twitter LO underscore LONNO underscore, and Coach Rosie, let them know. Go get you some followers, bro. Let us know your
Hey,
socials.
hey, definitely come and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, at Coach underscore Rosie 50. Coach underscore Rosie 50.
Yeah, tap in. I mean, he's definitely here to develop the youth. If you got some kids that's looking to get some training, get some good going, get some good in, you talk to him. He's definitely the guy to go to. So make sure you tap in. But yeah, that's all we have for this episode of Chiefin with Daily Dale. We'll talk to you at the next one.
All righty. Go Chiefs.
Oh, jeez.